Yo, what up? It's your boy Aces Galvin, coming at you guys with the next episode, episode 7. So, as you guys remember from the last episode, we left off where, I had to call that taxi and all this craziness, and I had to have that taxi try to get her to the school. So let's pick up from there. So, taxi leaves. I have to figure out a way to get home. I wait a few hours. Actually, I'm calling people. No one's coming. I'm like way away from where I live. My car is done. I decided to call a taxi. Now I call the taxi. Taxi comes. I drove all the way to my house, and I tell the taxi I don't have money, just to guarantee I get home. I was like, no matter what happens, I'm there. So I need to find out what happened. So I need to get home. So I give him a stereo in place of money. I was just like, yeah, take my stereo. And he's like, all right, well, it's collateral. If you need it, you can just come to to the main office where the taxis be at, where everybody be at, and I can get the money back, or I can give him the money and take the object back. And I was like, cool. So I took that, ran inside, waited, and then I got like a little email, or was it an email? I think it was an email. It was an email saying that she was gonna call me. She didn't say anything else. A couple hours go by. It was like 8 o'clock at night. I find out. She tells me what happened. So what happened was, she did make it there, barely. Like when the taxi guy got there, he had to drop her off at the top of the hill from the school. She got out, ran down the hill behind the school, so it looked like she came back out the school, and lo and behold, her parents right there. So we barely made it, but we made it. Crazy. Almost didn't. Now, you guys got to keep in mind, there's a couple things that happened from that particular situation. The fact that it was such a, the fact that whole situation was so emotional, so to speak, because like I said, I did find out, the whole situation about how she felt, like how she really felt. It was kind of all came in perspective. And I didn't have a car anymore. I eventually lost my car because of that, because I couldn't get it driven out of there. They eventually towed it. Car was gone. So that whole situation led to me losing my car, but I found out a lot. It was pretty much worth it. Now, the after effect of all that was, I got to a point where I got so frustrated and annoyed with the fact that I was like, yo, whatever emotions I kind of like settled down was brought back out that day. Because remember, I haven't seen her in mad long, so I was kind of used to not seeing her. And then after I'd seen her and I found out that, I was just on some like, well, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't want to deal with this. And I was thinking to myself, like, yo, I really don't want to deal with this. What am I going to do here? And what I did was I told her, I was like, yo, we got to take a break. Like, we can't do it. I got to take a break, because if I think about just being in this situation, I was being kind of selfish about it, so to speak. I didn't want to go through that whole 3 years of not seeing her at all. I was just kind of like, you know what? I thought about it. And this was the first thing I did that I kind of view as something that maybe I could have went about differently, but I was just like, yo, I can't do this. I was like, we need to take a break until the situation calls for it. I can't do this. Maybe just a few months. I was like, just a few months. I need to just kind of, I can't. So what happened was, we stopped. I went on some, well, now that I'm not with her anymore, let me just go see what the hell is going on. Long story short, the money that my mother was waiting for mad long actually comes through. It was like 80 G's, right? With that 80 G's, I was going to get a car with like 4 of it. I think it was like 4. Before I get the car, I actually know the names now. I actually had one of my buddies I've seen the last video tell me the names. So the African dude, his name was Asim. The little skinny kid that played basketball, his name was Buddy. The white kid, his name was Jay. And the girl that lived downstairs, her name was Jennifer. So what had happened was, one day, maybe like a week later, me and Jay are having a conversation. I found out my mom's gonna get money. I tell Jay, yeah, I'm gonna get Integra. He's like, oh, I want to get Integra too. I'm like, come on, son. I'm like, you wasn't even talking about, because initially he was talking about getting a Civic. Blah, 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 blah. I don't even like Hondas like that, but I was just gonna get Integra because I had an Integra and I wanted a newer one. So what ends up happening is he goes and legitimately gets an Integra, but he F's up and he gets like a 4-door. And I'm just like, come on, son, like, really? And then I eventually get my car. I got an Eclipse. And this is a nice one too. It was really nice, actually. It had some rims on it. It had like all kinds of, it had a lot of little extra perks, came with some snow tires. It was nice. So I got my car. First thing I did when I got my car is I started putting all kinds of like things on it, like neons. I had like an underglow on it. It was crazy. But the whole people in the neighborhood didn't really even know it was my car until I had it registered and everything. So I had it for a while, and it was just sitting out there. But I was putting like vinyl on it and things like that. And eventually, like they were like, all right, well, whose car is that? Because I came out one day and I was cleaning it. This is after I got it registered. And they're like, that's your car? I'm like, yes. And so they're like, oh, okay, that's what's up. People were, sweating me. The girl that was downstairs, she was on some like, oh snap, he got a car. Now mind you, at this point I actually became relatively popular in that area because I was balling with the other kid. I was in the cars. I was, I was just, everything that everybody did, I did too. So I just did it well, it was fun. So I got my car. Now remember, I got it registered, but I still couldn't drive it because it was like there was some stipulation I couldn't drive it. I don't know what, I forgot what it was, but I couldn't drive it. So I had it there, and but I couldn't drive it, which was retarded. So it was just chilling. Now mind you, at the same time, the girl Jennifer starts showing some kind of interest in me because I have a car. Even though I'm not taking it anywhere, she starts showing interest. At the same time, I start working at a baseball stadium across the street from me. At the same time, I start also talking to Trish again. So all three of these things are going on at once. This all takes place after I stop, I'll go on that break with Mia. So I have Trish that's starting to talk to me again. I have Jennifer who's getting interested. And what I mean by interested is she's actually starting to talk to me or try to talk to me when she sees me doing things, when before she wasn't trying to hear that. So I have Jennifer doing this. I have Trish wanting to talk to me again. So I start talking to her, not like that yet, but just talking to her. And then I had this job that I was about to start. So let's start off with, let's go left to right. Let's go from the job first. This job was a job at a baseball stadium. It was funny because I worked as pretty much like a coordinator on a giant inflatable slide. Like when I say giant, we're talking probably 3 stories. 3 stories. And you climb up all the way up and you slide down 3 stories all the way down. It was huge, like the size of a building. Now, I would work in the front of that slide. I would help people get up the slide and everything. That's what my job was, working on the slide. Now, on the top of that slide, it was 3 stories up. You can see the whole baseball field. And to the left of that slide, there was like a flat obstacle course inflatable field. So it was like a giant field that was flat, but it was a giant obstacle course that was inflated. A lot of interesting things happen at this baseball stadium. So let's get into that because we have some more people to introduce. At this time, I start working there. A couple months, maybe like a month goes by, and I'm actually able to start using my car now. So now I'm sitting there, I'm able to use my car, but I'm not taking it to work because I could walk to work. Me and Jennifer are cool. She's sweating the kid, but I'm not really like, I'm just kind of on some, nah, you only doing that because I have my car. That's all. You just want to be that chick in the front seat. It was that petty nonsense. And then Jay had his car, and me and Trish were actually talking now at this point, because like this is interesting. She would come all the way from Queens. She would drive from Queens all the way to where I was, past my house, go to Dairy Queen, get me a strawberry cheesequake, and come all the way back to my house with it and wake me up to that almost on a daily basis. I was living that life. And the funny thing is, I was going to actually have one of those when I actually made this video. I was going to be like, yeah, I was drinking one of these. But yeah, she used to do that every day. So she was riding. I guess because of some fact that we haven't talked in a mad long, and I was off that. She came through. When she came back through, she was like, oh, this is an opportunity. Let me really go hard. So she went hard. And the thing about it was, the cool thing about that situation was, it was the closest thing to a normal relationship that I've ever had at that point. Now, mind you, y'all need to get this straight. I still wore the dog tag. If you came in my room, you would see, like pretty much in my dresser to be all Mia's pictures and anything that was related to her, which is kind of in this dresser. And no matter who came in that room, it was always there. No matter who came around, it was always there. I always had this stuff on. I never took it off. Even though I wasn't with her, I was like, yo, it's just a temporary thing. I would let every girl know that I was talking to, this is wifey. I'm just not with her right now. We're kind of on some hiatus. I don't know if that is what made them want me, but that's what was going on. So just imagine me chilling with a chick, or she's doing all this stuff for me, and then when she sees me, I have this dog tag on, and there's pictures in my room of some other girl. And I already let them know, like, this is wifey. Don't get it twisted. that's what it is. This is the person I want to be with, and that's what I'm going to do. So, one day, I'm at the baseball stadium. Let's introduce the next girl. I'm at the baseball stadium. We start doing this fireworks show. I get off work. I walk out. And when I walk out, there's these two girls kind of sitting on some bleachers. One of them staring at me. The other one just chilling. I'm like, So I'm like, all right, whatever. I keep it moving. One of them asked me for something because I had a uniform on. They're like, oh, can we get a Coke? Or something like that. I'm like, are you talking to me? She's like, yeah, can I get a Coke? And I'm just thinking there to myself, like, this could be one of those opportunities where I can actually make something happen off this statement. I'm like, this is one of those statements that are just like, maybe I can make it into a joke. Maybe I can literally go get her a Coke. Maybe I could just be like, bitch, I'm off. Like, I could do all kinds of different things. You know what I did instead? I was like, all right, what's your name? She said, Brittany. I'm like, Now, Brittany was with this other girl. Now, there's two girls, Brittany and this other girl. I'm like, all right. I'm like, and your name? And the other one was like, Alexia. But my friends call me Lexi. I'm like, okay. Lexi was kind of like a chunky girl. She was kind of chunky. She was really, really, really cute Italian chick, but she was kind of chunky. And the other girl was like one of those typical looking like they snort Coke high schoolers. That's what she looked like. She had that look that she snorts Coke. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but that's what she looked like. She looked reckless, wild, and that's the one that asked for the soda. So I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. So I walk off. I go get 2 sodas, right? Come right back. I'm like, one, as soon as I walk up to her, I'm like, for one, I'm not working right now. 2, the only way I'm giving y'all these sodas is if I'm sitting here chilling and I drink this one with you because I have one for me. And we watch these fireworks together. I'm like, if y'all cool with that, we can do this all day. She's like, yeah, fine. I'm like, all right, cool. I look over, my man sees me with these 2 girls. He wants to come over. I'm like, dead that. He literally was on his way. I was like, dead it. Stop. No, don't. Because he was corny. I didn't need him. I was just like, nah, chill, B. Chill with that. Long story short, we start talking to both of them. I could already tell that Brittany's on some next level stuff. So then I was like, you know what, Brittany? Like my man over here, he wants to come chill too. He thought I already told him no at this point. This is like 5 minutes later. I'm like, yeah, come over. He starts talking to her. I'm talking to Lexi. Me and Lexi click. There's just something about her I liked. So what I did, I was like, yo, I got to get ready to go. I got to get out of here. I got mad stuff to do. I'm like, when's the next time you'll be here? She's like, oh, the next time that they have the main game, which is like every 4 weeks. I'm like, okay. Give me your aim, because that's what it was back then. I think I remember what it was, too. That's a damn shame. Anyway, I got her aim, and I was just like, all right, cool, I'll hit you up. I put it into my computer, but I never really sent her too many messages. I always remember I just never sent her too many messages. Fast forward. So I finally started being able to drive my car. And the first thing that happens is the first day I have the underglow on, I have the neons inside the car, I have my vinyls on, it said Street Glow on the top. It was crack. My car was looking crazy. I had my rims on it, I had my mini disc CD changer, I had the boom box and the boom system that's like a boom tube in the back. I was ready to go. The first day that it was like an event. Everybody came to my house again, like, oh yo, like we're you gonna drive? I'm like, yeah. And Jay had his Integra. And I guess he wanted to race, but I wasn't about to do that just yet. I was like, all right, I'm about to take this out for the first time. Here comes Jennifer. I guess she looked out her window. She's seen us out there. She comes out. She grabs onto me like, oh, come on, let's go for a ride. I'm like, and I'm just getting angry at this point. I'm like, yo, when I didn't have a car, you wasn't even trying to hear that. I don't remember who she was trying to talk to, but before I didn't have the car, she wasn't trying to talk to nobody at all. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Nah. She got pissed off and left. I was like, yo, I got my man's Toogie. I told Toogie, I called him on the phone. I was like, yo, I'm coming to come get you from my city. So I was like, I'm coming to go get you. That was the first destination I wanted to go. I hop in the car. It's the first time I really ever drove it. I got used to the clutch pretty quickly, and it was a wrap. I was out. First thing I did was hit the highway. I almost died in that car the first day. The first thing I did was hit the highway. The 3-lane highway turns into a 2-lane highway for a bridge, and it opens back up to 3-lane. I'm out. Jay's trying to keep up with me. His car can't even compare. I'm out. I am like, bwah, bwah. I'm like, how fast can this damn thing go? I know that 4th gear in most manuals that are 5-speed is your is the gear you usually can get your max in with the best amount of RPMs. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna hit 4th and I'm gonna push it and I'm gonna see how fast this thing goes. It's the middle of the day, so there's mad semis on the road where I live, and I'm out. I'm like out. I finally get up to where I get all the way up to kind of like I get all the way up to where it turns into 2 lanes. And there's 2 trucks here and there. There's a truck here, there's a truck here, the lane in the middle's open. I'm doing like 70 at the point. I'm like, yo, I'm squeezing. I dropped to 3rd. I'm flying. I'm like almost I'm not redline, I'm within my power band. I shift to 4th. Here I come. I'm doing 90, 95, 100. The road starts closing. I didn't even notice because there's a truck here, so I can't see that it becomes 2 lanes. I'm coming through the middle. They start closing on me. I'm doing like 95. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get destroyed. I'm gonna get killed. So I'm in 5th gear at this point, doing like 95 to 100. They're closing on me. I drop to 4th. I just barely managed to squeeze through the truss goes. I'm like, whoa, woo! I'm just like driving mad fast. I get back home, heart rate's all messed up because I'm like, yo, I almost got bodied. I forgot all about Toogie. I'm like, damn, I forgot all about Toogie, yo. Damn. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. As soon as I get to the front door, I call Toogie back. I'm like, yo, my bad. Everybody's talking about it because Jay was behind me, so he's seen that happen. Everybody's talking about it at the crib. I'm like, yo, that was crazy. Here comes Jennifer walking up to me. Now, mind you, it's like 8 o'clock at night. I don't even think she's supposed to be outside. She comes walking up to me. I'm like, yo, son, I'll come see you tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you coming in? She heard me say I'm going to come see him tomorrow. She knows she's heard of this guy, but she's never seen him. She's like, I'm like, all right, I'll holler at you. I hang up the phone. It was a house phone. It wasn't a cell phone. I wasn't balling. Because I was just outside my house, so I could still use the phone. She comes up to me. She goes, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, nothing. I'm like, I'm chilling. Like, she's like, you going out for a drive? I'm like, yo. I look at her right in her face. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, you're really sitting here asking me if I'm gonna go for a drive at night? Let me guess. You want to go for a drive? She's like, no. I'm like, so what are you asking me? I'm like, so what is it? What do you want? Like, what do you want? She's like, oh, I was just thinking about chilling with you tonight. I'm like, it's already 8 o'clock. I'm like, what? Like now? Like 10 minutes from now? And then it didn't hit me. I'm like, oh. I'm like, whoa, wait. I'm like, wait. What you mean tonight as in later tonight? That's what you're talking about? She's like, yeah, well, I was thinking about chilling with you later tonight. I'm like, all right. I'm like, and how are you going to do that? She's like, oh, I was just going to sneak out. I'm like, sneak out and go where? Like, I'm just extending this. I'm like, can you please explain to me what you're really trying to say? She's like, oh, I want to spend some alone time with you. I'm like, so, and I said it to her directly. I'm like, yo, after all this time, you don't say nothing to a dude. I get a whip, and all of a sudden, you want to start spending time with dudes now all of a sudden? I'm like, that's how it is? She's like, yeah, I know it sounds. I'm like, no, I know what it sounds like, but you know what? I'm going to entertain that idea. I'm like, holla at me at 12. I'll be right outside. I'm like, if you're really about that, I'll see you at 12. And I thought that she wasn't going to do anything. She hits me up on AIM at like 11:30, like, oh, I want to see you right now. I'm like, all right then. Now I'm thinking she's bluffing. I'm like, all right then. Come out. She signs off AIM. I'm like, whoa. Now, mind you, I'm just chilling in my room like, oh, whoa. And then I look out the window. I hear like something hit my window. I don't even know how she got off AIM and got outside that fast, because as soon as it said she signed off, she must have, you know what I'm thinking she did? She must have powered down the computer and then went outside, because when she went outside, that's when things went off. She comes outside, she's like, I see the, I hear something hit my window. I'm like, I look out the window. Here she's out there in some, I'm going to explain what she was in later, and I will get into that next video. I'll hit y'all with the cliffhangers. But yeah, we got some more stuff coming next episode. I'm going to tell you about some reckless stuff I was doing at my job. The second time I seen Lexi, what happened that night, what me and Trish kind of got into, and a couple other things during this and then we're going to get into some of the events I had with the people that I was there. This was like guaranteed probably like the best 4 months of my life. that I'm going through right now, and this was just the beginning. So we still got probably like 2 or 3 more episodes in this era, and then we're gonna get to the point where some stuff happens next. But tune in next time, because next time I'm hitting y'all with what happened with this girl. It's crazy. It's your boy Aces Galvin. I'm out.